The first main component of this fuel consumption and emission testing includes the fuel consumption, where we take the supply fuel coming from the fuel pump, we route it through a fuel manifold, thermometer, fuel flow meter, differential pressure gauges. After it leaves the supply manifold, it enters the primary fuel filter of the engine. To gauge the fuel consumption, the difference between the fuel supply and the fuel return is measured. For the fuel return, we take the return from the engine, route through another fuel manifold, thermometer, fuel flow meter, and pressure differential gauges. After it leaves the return manifold, the fuel is returned to the tank as normal. The thermometers are utilized to monitor the temperature of the fuel, to make corrections for the volumetric differences and viscosity changes due to the hotter fuel. Fuel is about 30 or 40 degrees warmer as it leaves the engine, and that will cause differences in the viscosity of the fuel, which will the fuel is routed from the fuel rail through the return manifold, thermometer, fuel flow meter, and pressure differential gauges. The temperature is monitored, so we are able to make volumetric calculations based off of the temperature differences between the supply and the return fuel, since the return fuel is usually 20, 30, or even 40 degrees warmer than the supply. Those changes are made, or those calculations and adjustments are made internally in the data logger. As we mentioned earlier, the data logger receives the signal, the pulse signal from the fuel flow meters and the 4 to 20 milliamp signal from the thermometers. Those signals are routed through the data logger, where the math corrections are made and recorded via a 2 gigabyte flash memory. From there, the data logger is controlled and monitored on a laptop. Signal is sent via a Cat6 cable. The second aspect of this testing is the gases and particulate emission monitoring and recording. A 3/4 inch bung is installed in the exhaust pipe. The sample probe is installed. The sample probe is routed to a ecom analyzer, where oxygen, CO, CO2, NO, NO2, NOx, hydrocarbon or your unburned fuels, exhaust gas temperatures are measured and recorded. The data is recorded in two places: an internal memory card and via USB to laptop. The exhaust gas is routed into the analyzer, where it is filtered and cooled, and the readings and concentrations are recorded. The particulate matter is also taken from the sample probe, where a filter disc is installed, and 1.63 liters of exhaust gas is pulled through that filter disc, and the color, or the concentration of the particulate, is compared to a chart where a number is assigned. analyzer is calibrated with EPA protocol gases, which are also NIST certified. There is a CO-NO mix, an NO2, a CO high, a CO2, a 2% methane, and 2% O2 mixture. The third aspect of this testing is engine power. What we're doing here is we're gauging or monitoring the power produced, the power that is at the propeller shaft. To do that, we installed an RPM or a proximity switch, which checks each time this magnet passes in front of that sensor's eye. It's 1 revolution, and that counts and records those revolutions continuously. From there, we go to a 4-bridge strain gauge, a wireless transmitter. The wireless transmitter signal is sent to the antenna from here. Then from the antenna, it goes on to the receiver. The receiver is where a lot of the fine-tuning or adjustments are made, depending on the shaft's material of construction, diameter, whether it's solid, hollow, etc. From the receiver, we go to the data logger for this portion of the testing. This data logger records the RPM and torque readings, and basically calculates the horsepower by multiplying your RPM times your torque and dividing that by 5,252. We also have global positioning satellite tied into this data logger as well, which records speed, distance, pace, and basically location, and we got the capability of plotting or charting that on a map. The data here is sent to a laptop computer via a Cat6 cable as well. From there, the data is monitored and recorded on a laptop computer.